Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Watty. This is Mark, and this is our boy Paddy joining us live from Peterborough. We cannot thank him enough. Just want to shout out our sponsors real quick before we get started. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for the latest technology in e-bikes, then head over to our friends Hurricane e-bikes. They've got deals for everybody. It includes servicing, it includes parts, delivered to your doorstep. Do you know what? You don't like your bike, you can trade it back in. You can go up, upgrade your package. There's so many options. Go check out Hurricane e-bikes right now. Shout out to those guys, and also shout out to our guest this evening, Mr. Alex Padelek and AI Products. You might have seen his pucks taken over the internet in the UK recently, and what a better time to get him on than, well, after he's been very, very kind to donate towards our charity. So first of all, Paddy, welcome aboard. And second, thank you very much for your very generous donation.
Thank you.
You're really welcome. It's a privilege to do something for good cause.
Mate, and what two better causes? We've got the Royal Marsden Children's Cancer Charity. I mean, Mark, did you watch that video I sent you today of the very first charity game? It was me and Ali Band stood in the hospital visiting little Zach, and that was the day that I fell in love with Royal Marsden and what they were really all about. And then obviously the Dodie Weir Foundation. Now, part of the reason we're doing this charity game is Matt Parsons over in Slough got diagnosed with motor neurons disease. Awful disease, life debilitating, life shortening, life expectancy is horrific, and the cures are pretty much non-existent right now. So if there wasn't two better causes than children's cancer and motor neurons disease, then we want to be right behind it and right behind the people that are supporting, working in these facilities, doing these things and helping people. And your donation, Paddy, that plays a part. You guys buying jerseys at home, that plays a part. You guys taking sponsorships, that plays a part. You guys buying tickets on the night, that plays a part. So everything everybody's done to now, I can't thank you enough. But yeah, Paddy, let's talk about you for a minute, because I feel a bit bad. We got you on here and we haven't even got you in the fucking charity game, mate. How bad is that? How bad is it? And like I was saying, I forget, like, a lot of the imports eventually kind of make home here. You're going through a move, you're moving a home office, you're getting set up, you've got your company going on. Tell me about life. How's life for you in the UK?
Oh, life is great. Got engaged.
Congratulations.
In December, and now we are living our dream.
Living the dream,
Yeah.
playing for Peterborough, in that fucking shitty old barn.
Oh well, it's you
It's
play
shit, Paddy.
when you
It's
play
shit.
when you play here, you know, like it's a home rink, and I think we have great fans around here. And
You know what's funny, Paddy? I said the same to Mark. Mark goes to me one day, he goes, what did you actually like really think? Because obviously I'm always giving the rink a hard time. I was like, what, when you play there, it's fucking awesome. Like, it's so good. So good to play there. The fans are awesome.
yeah, they are. It's true.
Good people around there. Apart from you, Paul Young, you know who you are. You old cantankerous old bastard. You're probably watching this right now, so shout out to you, Paul. He's always giving me shit. Like, it's nice to give some back. Good people though, Paddy, right? Up in Peterborough.
Yeah. And what else? I don't know. With the company, we started slowly, basically with Phantoms. I'm working a few years now. Would be eighth or seventh year. Doing jerseys for them, and yeah, merchandise. We have Leeds and Swindon on board, and
Awesome, mate.
a lot of other team with parks and other merchandise. So yeah, it's getting busy.
What made you want to get into that?
Oof. Well, I kind of always liked computers, had like designing apps and stuff, and I think
You, Mark.
that's how I started. Like, I think first I designed Phantom's Christmas jersey, I guess 2016 maybe. And since that, like, it just grew, and yeah, then
The royalties are still coming in off the back of the Phantom's Christmas jersey 2016. Yeah, you're good to go.
that was first one I designed, and basically started supplying Phantoms since then.
How did you go about getting like Leeds and Swindon on board and bringing new new, like, well, I say new teams, they're not new teams, but like
I
new
forgot
teams.
Bristol. Sorry, Bristol
And
from my
Bristol, shout out
yeah,
the Hargreaves boys. You must be doing it cheap then if Richie and Mike are getting involved.
yeah.
you must be too cheap because
Not sure, but
Richie's the king of negotiation.
like we never negotiated, and I think we are probably one of few companies that are printing pucks. Uh, we basically, as a Phantoms, using every game, our printed pucks leads every puck drop with the sponsors using our pucks, and we did pucks for university teams, rec teams around the UK. Anything.
I love the rec guys, man. We done rec tournament at St. Mark. What they like, the rec boys are cool, man, and they buy in. And
Yeah.
if you've got a good product,
Good
the
lads.
rec guys buy in, and I mean, some of them get a hard time, but most of the ones I've met have been fucking absolute beauties. Like great guys down at our tournaments.
And you know what, they playing hockey the way they are, and they're having fun, which is much different from what we are doing. And it's always nice to go for a scrimmage with them, have a chat, have a beer after. Not
Hey,
always.
you look like a Van der Kane out there, eh? You boys see that clip this week? Van der Kane out in LA playing beer league, dangles three guys, goes to the left of the goalie, chucks it back door to this fucking ankle bender, and he misses the open net, and Evander's just laughing, right? And is that what it looks like with you out there?
No, I have a rule there.
What's the rule? Tell us the rule.
I'm playing the way that I can come next time again.
So they invite you back, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Just
like
like be a bit better, enjoy that 1 hour session. Sometimes when you don't have guys to change, it's tough to skate for 40 minutes.
It's hard.
Yeah, but it's something that you normally in normal game don't have, and it's really nice.
Mark,
really thirsty after, so it's just great.
the way I could explain it to you, Mark, obviously you're not a hockey guy, but think Shark Tank in boxing, yeah, and you think you're gonna get out the ring, and then you go to the rope, and someone goes, nope, because there's only one person on like the bench. So it's just it's horrific. I had to because obviously I've been banned for like 147 fucking years. Before the charity game last time, I went out with the rec boys a couple of times. I was like, I'm not ready to step into a scrimmage where there's only 6 players on each team. I haven't been on the ice in 4 years. I need a solid like 18 guys to mix in the rotation.
Like you don't even have rest, like because another guy's coming for change, and then you're back, and well, then basically waiting where it's time to change again. There's not much time. We were skating last week with boys in Czech, and was 7 on each side. So we decided to play 4-on-4.
Yeah, smart.
Didn't help much. It didn't help.
No. Is it in Czech? Is it ex-pros? Who are you skating with out there?
It's not just ex-pros, it's still active players, because years ago, since basically I came to UK, I started like summer weekly sessions. We had scrimmages, and for the boys that need to get ready for the season. So we had rules, no big hitting, like just have fun.
Not getting getting your light switched off on Thursday at 10 p.m. Like, no thanks.
NHL players on the ice sometimes. It was sick. Very good.
Go on, let's fanboy. Which NHL players?
David Rittick, goalie.
Nice.
So was one more guy, but you know what? Like I'm 43, and they're around 20 years old, and when they turn up, like after few years in UK, I just don't know really. But it's few guys Czech extra league, second highest league. They playing abroad. We had ex NHL players on the ice, so it's really nice. Or guys that used to be in Hockey Hall of Fame, Czech one, sorry. like for 250 and more goals in a highest league and international. So those guys I was basically meeting since I was a kid, and it's great to get on the ice with them. It's just amazing. Like after years, like I know that not in the same shape they used to be, but it's great to you know
Rounds of
what
shape.
they
I know
still
because I am
see that
fucking
they
round
feel
right now. Fellas.
hockey. They can pass, they can shoot, they can't skate that quick, but it's just like that experience. Like you see there, and it's like wow, it's still there,
Yeah,
which
just
is amazing.
great talent. Mark, were you still in Peterborough when Paddy first came over?
Yeah. What was Slough?
Oh fuck!
I
Stop
was in
making me feel
Slough.
old, you fucking dick. Yeah, I forgot about Slough. Jeez.
I was
I'm
here in
so
Slough
old,
and
boys. What's going on? Mark, what have you done to me? Put me in a pretzel.
play with Ryan
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, of course you did. Ryan loved you.
Yeah.
Ryan loved you. He's like, yeah, we got this guy fucking, we got this new guy. And he's telling me shit. And I'm like, okay. And Slough was an undercover good place to play. Like I was in Slough for like 2 years and 1 season. 2 years and 1 month
Yeah.
before Zora and Kozik and me nearly come to blows on the bench. How did you find playing in Slough? Because I'm sure the UK hockey fans, the fact that we have the game in Slough now this next weekend, be interested to see what your thoughts were, your time there.
Yeah, well, it was, I would say, like a family. Like I met few fans, but Mark Denholm, he's still DJing somewhere, and few guys.
Basingstoke, I think now. Well, it was.
Yeah, it was in Basingstoke. I think he's always in Slough when we play against Bracknell now. So we meet there sometimes. Steve English, and now his son's playing there. Or he played
Yeah,
even
he
against
is. Yeah,
us.
yeah, he definitely is.
And yeah, it was like kind of family atmosphere. Good team, good call. I think then around Christmas it kind of collapsed. That few guys left, and we basically stayed with younger guys, like 3 imports, and it's just always good memories about playing in Slough. It's
So
boring, but
yeah.
we knew how to play all the bounces.
So you only came over that year. That was your first year playing outside the Czech. Well, it was Czech Republic at that point, I think. Was it Czech Republic then? Or was it just Czech?
Yeah, Czech Republic. I
So
played.
that your first year coming out there and coming into like a different style of hockey. What did you make of? Actually, I think maybe you was in Slovakia prior. You did Slovakia, right?
Yeah, I
Prior to
was there
that,
like for a few months,
yeah,
and
like a
when I
cup of
was
coffee.
19, I played at juniors and like I think second league was not sure. It's a long time ago.
So, what did you think of the UK when you first came?
What like I always said, like any league you play in.
Go further, go faster, get fitter. Subscribe today. Hurricane e-bikes have a great range of bikes available on the e-bike subscription plans. The Cruiser e-bikes are perfect for beach rides, long distance rides, or just everyday use. The Fat Bike e-bikes look great and can cope with the toughest terrain, perfect for off-road adventures. The hybrids range are perfect for about town, everyday use and leisurely rides with the family. Take your ride to the next level with the mountain bike and get ready for your next power-assisted adventure.
Because then obviously I had a break after Slough, went back to Czech, and then I went for summer to Australia. And each league has something different. Like you have to adjust. Like I saw great players coming into EPL or NHL now, and they just couldn't adjust to style.
So, why? Because guys like me are trying to break your fucking arm every shift.
You were nice to me.
I liked you though. I liked you. I think you're a good
Head up,
guy. You're a
buddy.
good player.
Head
I
up.
respect.
I never forget that in Slough.
Mate, honestly, I always respected guys that would battle with me, but had talent, and I'm always going to give a guy like you a heads up coming. I'm going to hit you. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you a heads up when I'm coming. Yo, Paddy, left shoulder, I'm coming.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give a guy like you the benefit of the doubt and the respect that you deserve. And I think anyone that played against me, although I was a bit of a dick, will tell you, like, I was always pretty honest, like, and playing against guys like yourself, thinking back to the Slough days, like Darius
Yeah.
Paskowskis might be, by the way, he might be in the top 10 EPL imports of all time. And I don't think unless you've played against him or with him, you fucking realize what an animal that man was.
Oh, he was. We played World's Testimonial last year. He was there. You know, he got a bit of drink, didn't get off the ice. I was like, change. Like, it was like, oh, my kids came to watch me. You'll be still playing next year. I want them to see that playing hockey. I think he probably could still play. Still had the shot. Sometimes just fell over the line because few beers. But
him and Greg Owen might be tied on who hit me the hardest ever with a snapshot. Not a slap shot, a snapshot. Greg Owen one summer skate nearly blew my ankle off. And then I was killing one day in Slough, and I remember Darius was on the half wall, and he rolled across the top of the circles, and he just a little quick snapper release, and he hit me on the inside of the knee, and I thought I was going to die. His shot is so powerful.
Amazing wrist shot, and one time anything he got on his stick was almost goal every time.
So what made you come back to the UK then, and with Peterborough, and I believe it's your 8th season now? You had a little break during the COVID time. I think you went back to Czech, but you're going into your 8th season. Incredible.
Yeah. Well, I played under Slava in Slough. It's our coach, owner, hockey director now, and basically I called him after that year because I had like some stuff or family stuff, so I went back to Czech after Slough, and I just enjoyed it here, so I was missing it and wanted to come back. Came to Peterborough because Slough was coaching here, so I gave him a call, and since that was few years, then obviously there was the COVID year when there was a lockdown here, and leagues in Czech were open and we could practice, we could play. Then it was lockdown even there, but I think we played 5 or 6 games in a league, played basically all summer friendly games. So just wanted to keep in shape and playing the basically third highest league, close to house where I was living, and there were a few boys I used to play before I went to UK, and it was nice just to come, but someone, you don't need to travel that far. And after COVID, basically I was just waiting when the flights are open and league starts again. It was even during the year, like COVID year, that it might be open, and it was that spring series, so I tried to go and play here, but they didn't want any imports on teams and basically play the English players as much as they can. It wasn't many games, but
it gave us something to do, didn't it, Mark? It gave us a stream or two to watch during the COVID.
Yeah, exactly. I was occupied.
Yeah, it kept us occupied, mate. Honestly, we were so grateful because we've got this podcast. We're rolling, the podcast getting big, and then they went, COVID. Like, what? Shit, there's no hockey to talk about. And then they've done the Elite Series and they've done the National Series, and that was a godsend for us. I want to move away from that because I'm just rolling through your stats here, and I want to see if your old ass can remember this. Let's roll it back to 2005, 2006. A young Paddy. You played for the Czech fucking national team twice.
Oh, actually 3 times, but it was like a friendly game that didn't count.
Mate, that counts. That counts in my book.
You know what? It counts in my books. I scored 2 goals. We played against Slovenia that game. I think they came late, so game was shorter, so it wasn't like officially listed anywhere. And then basically I was on a team like before all the NHL stars came, before the World Championship, and was released probably 2 weeks before it started. So I have 2 games against Slovakia.
Amazing, congratulations. Like
Awesome.
I don't really think UK fans really get what an achievement that is. It's the equivalent of a lad from Basingstoke playing twice for fucking England. Do you know what I mean? It's like England football, like a guy that's like, well, I looked through that roster that year: Caballeret, Helinka, Kudra, Straka, Yaga, Vinny Prospal. Like, you start just running through the names, and you're like, to be even in the conversation, to even be like
On the ice with them.
yeah, like it's wild.
Yeah.
So
Unreal.
even though you got cut, did you get a skate with those boys? And like,
I think they came like last week, or some of them came during the tournament. But most of the guys that basically finished in NHL and started just to keep in shape, so that they came to those camps. And we were basically from Monday till Friday with the team, got Saturday, Sunday off and back. So I spent there probably 2-3 weeks. And it was
I'm fanboying a little bit, by the way. just
Yeah.
just a little bit. I got really excited.
No, it was great, like to be with almost the best players from the country. And if you said those names, and those guys were top 20 in the world.
By the way, you look, and you can start going down to like the 40th player on that list and go stud. 80th player, like so many good players in your era.
Oh yeah.
From Czech. And
Like
now this is when I used to watch hockey like religiously. I was 20, 21, so I would have probably been like watching all the games, watching all the Euros. Yaga, I mean, for me,
He's my favorite ever player. So.
he's up there. He's not overtaken Pavel Bure for me, but he's in the mix with like Pavel Bure, Ovechkin, Jaromir Jagr. Like they're the 3 guys that I go to when I think of ice hockey players. If I could have been like 1 millionth as good as, it would be those guys. Did you get to meet Jagr, skate with him?
I did. I played against him. We won 5-0. We had a guy on him
Yeah, fuck you,
all
Jagr.
game. Basically, like a pit bull, just skating with him. Didn't give him 2 feet. Like always with him. He got pissed off, slashed the guy. Got 2 minutes. We scored a goal, so it worked.
Headbutt you with that Coho helmet. Oof.
Oh,
Who remembers the Coho helmet?
oh
Wow.
yeah, Joffa, that round Joffa.
Yeah, the bad lid.
But I think when he played, like in that season, he used to have a classic Gretzky helmet, that old Joffa one.
Oh, the actual proper Jofa.
Yeah, that's proper one.
Classic.
What was it like, just like being around that specimen? Because I think these new school kids forget. They look at Crosby, they look at Ovechkin, and now McDavid and all these other puppies that are coming through and been there and done it. You forget Jaromir Jagr behind Wayne Gretzky. There's not another fucking human being on this planet that has more points in the NHL.
Yeah, that's true. Like they chasing him. But
I don't even think anyone will catch Jagr, let alone Gretzky.
Kind of watching Ovechkin when he gets the puck on his one-timer, so it's always a killer. He's always on the same spot, like Brett Hull, and scoring goals from the same spot. It's because the team is or that power play is so powerful. Anyone can score a goal. So if
you can't cheat, because John Carlson will just go fucking top shelf from the right side, or you go down to Backstrom on the right side low. And Mark, we talked to, so we had Zach Fucali on netminder who's just won a Calder Cup. He's heading off to the KHL, and this savage has played with Crosby. No, sorry, he's played with Ovechkin. He's played with McDavid, and he's played with McKinnon. And I said, "Who's the best?" Ovechkin. And Mark, am I right in thinking we asked him the question? Like, everybody knows he's doing that, and you can't stop it. He's just like you can't stop that puck. Like Brett Hull was the same, and you just brought him up, Brett Hull. Like Brett Hull and Ovechkin on that offside might be the most dangerous combination of people ever. Lethal goal scorers. So when you're in and around that mix of the national team and you're playing top league in Czech, are you guys getting like well paid? Are you getting well looked after? Are you getting all the good treatment in the top league?
Yes, yeah. You have your own doctors, you have physios always there, you have masseuses. Basically, don't know how Elite League works here, because you have that comfort even in a second league. Like it's not that paid like extra league, but you just have it. It's like something that each team basically taking care of their players. You're paying their contracts, so if they got injured, you want them back as soon as they can. So they have coaches around for mental coaches, guys in a gym that if someone's injured, they get him back in shortest time possible. And like I never complained. Like we had anything we needed.
What about like around town? Like you guys going to restaurants? Are you like well recognized there, or can you kind of just live your life and do your thing?
Depends. Like I went through a few teams in Czech, and it depends how the team is doing, how big city is, and you get recognized. Yeah.
You trained in like July. I know the Czech team. I know that in Czech and Slovakia, the teams really like to like get their guys like training in like July.
We basically had finished in April time. Depends like if you play in playoffs or anything, but then you get 3 weeks, basically May, June, off ice twice a day. Just Wednesday, Friday, one practice, but we had practice for 3-4 hours, like split into 3 different ones. It was like gym, running, or cycling around the city.
How
like,
jacked were you?
Like thing is,
were you shredded? Proper shredded?
And not now.
No, then when you were doing all this like off-season training, were you guys all coming in like lean, or how? Before
season starts, like I'll be all right. Yeah.
I don't mean now, but I mean back then when you were doing these like you finish in April, you got 3-4 weeks, and then you're on 2-a-days, 4-hour sessions and stuff. When you guys go into that new season from this like very heavy off season, is everybody just shredded in shape, good to go, or are some guys still carrying a little body fat, need a little sharpening up?
That's probably like different guys, different shapes. You have groups of guys that running quicker, at cycling quicker, at lifting more. And like when I was young, I didn't really, probably I should, when I met with coach that used to play with me when I started as a senior, and he was coach, and we met, and he was like, look at you. Like I was like, yeah, I know, I didn't listen to you when I was younger. I did what I had to do in the gym. It was hard, but you could always do more, which I probably now I would do differently than before. And I think it.
Well, mate, you're still playing at 43, so whatever you did, it's obviously works.
Yeah, like it's what I said. Like till I can play, I'll play, because I love hockey and basically give it all my life since my parents put me on the ice when I was 2.5, 3 years old, like on a pond, and then my brother was playing, so it was always great to even before we started playing games, go and watch him play. And then basically he started in extra league earlier. And when we played, it was my second game for seniors. We play against each other.
Awesome.
And he was 10th forward on a team we played against. And they basically played just 3-line hockey. I had a team with 10 national team players, so they won extra league 6 times in a row.
Oh, just stacks.
But yeah, I'll never forget when their coach just put my brother on the ice next to me on a third period on a first face-off, and my mom was crying in there, and just had video camera back in time. It's just now you can do it on your phone, but screaming for 30 minutes with all the breaks and everything.
Just going at it. Love
That
it.
was great. Yeah.
You're
Right.
from a hockey.
Sorry, what?
You're from a hockey hotbed of a country. Then, who was your favourite player growing up?
My
You got
brother.
so many to choose from.
It was
Oh, wow.
him because he was hardworking player. Probably, I would say maybe I was a little bit more talented because I didn't do as much of ice as he did. But he was amazing. I think he was second fastest player in All-Star game in Czech, and amazing wrist shot. We used to go and off ice shooting pucks every day all summer, and it's something that probably still in my hands, arms, and it's maybe the difference when you're playing 43 years old. I'm not that quick as I used to be, but when I get a chance, I can score a goal still.
And also, so growing up, you played for Dukla Ilava.
Yeah,
Was
that
that
was
right?
back in time. I think it was most successful team in Czech. And why? It's because it was army team.
Yeah.
So even I was 1 year in the army, and they basically got all the players they wanted because they had to go to for 1 or before for 2 years, and then they played for Dukla. So they had amazing players. When we were watching them, they were just destroying other teams because their best players had to go to Dukla.
I know. I've read it was Spitting Chicklets of Gara when he was speaking of the relationship. I think the Dukla is the army, correct? And you have like teams like Trenčín in Slovakia, and there was a bit of a connection between these two teams. Am I right? Purely because of back in the day with like the army and stuff, you'd have players travel between the two cities.
Yeah. That was Dukla Ihlava and Dukla Trenčín. And I think that Dukla Trenčín was for Slovakian players.
Yeah.
And when basically it was Czechoslovakia, so that league was stronger because those teams, 14 teams, had basically 2 nations. So it was more best players than, so it got a bit, I think, easier when there was just Czech extra league and still 14 teams.
So I was lucky enough to play with a few of what we used to call back in the EPL days of maybe just around about the time you got here, maybe before. Milos used to bring what we called the Trenčín Mafia. It was like just Guildford kept going to the fucking well there, Curvetin, Milos, Kahoot, just the guys that just Milos just kept churning them out. I can't remember the guy we played with, my right-handed shot, number 7. Again, he came from Trenčín, and then it's like, guys, we're signing a new import.
Basingstoke.
No, when I was in Guildford. Let me have a look at my stats. You probably know these guys.
I didn't say the name. Like, I'm a bit bad with names, but
let's have a look. Well, I played with a guy and I forgot his name, so that I'm no better. So his name was, we only brought him in, Martin Opatovsky. He came in.
Wasn't he in NHL before?
He was, I don't know, he was supposed to be good. Like
Opatowski
Opatowski,
was
so Slovakian kid. He's 48 now. He was Slovak top league, played for the under-20s national team, Czech top league with HC Energy, Slovak, Czech second league, Czech top league, Poland. He kind of bounced around, and then he came to us. But like you said, when you come to the EPL, you were like, oh, this is a bit different. He was a fucking chicken shit. Every time he got hit, he was like, oh, I don't like that. And he'd be like rolling around on the ice, and the boys like we got Sharpie on our team. He's like, fucking get up. By the way, Sharpie might be the most jacked retired ice hockey player in the fucking planet. Have you seen that? Have you seen that boy with his top off recently? He's on Instagram right now. He's got like an 8-pack. His ice hockey school that he runs, Sharpshooter Academy over in North America, is absolutely killing it. He's having guys drafted to the show and everything. So shout out Sharpie, and fuck all you haters that don't like Sharpie, because Paddy, you can attest to this. People have this opinion of people that they've never met, they've never played with, they've just, they're a piece of shit when they come to your rink. Guess what? You then meet that person and go, oh my God, you're like the nicest guy on the planet. Sharpie was the one in my whole entire career, more than anybody else, that stands out as being the nicest guy that I might have ever met. Then you put a pair of hockey skates and let him go out on the ice, and he's a fucking danger to society. But like, honestly, such a good guy. And everyone's like, oh, I hate him. I was like, you have a conversation with that man for 3 minutes, you would never hate him. You're like, he's just such a good human.
Yeah.
Who's a guy like that stands out for you that maybe Will Weldon might be one. Loads of people hate Will Weldon. I hated Will Weldon before I played with him, and then I played in Peterborough with Wells, and he's in the locker room, and I'm like, he's the fucking best guy ever.
Yeah, that is great. True.
Was it like getting to celebrate his testimonial? Because he deserved that.
100%. Like, he did great job for the club. Like, for basically, if I say, never played that level of hockey anywhere else. Always does his job, blocking shots, doing everything for the team. Now he got the C after Jimmy, and still probably the loudest guy in the changing room. When something goes wrong, then he said what he thinks, and yeah.
Okay, so
Great
notoriously on
guy
this
off the
podcast,
ice.
oh, great guy off the ice. Notoriously on this podcast, due to how mine and Slava's relationship broke down, I've been a bit hard on Slava. Always gave him credit when he's due, i.e. your cup win last year. Other times I've gave him credit here. I think he is a good coach. But how do you find working with Slava? And ultimately at this level, I think his tactics and his brain is just that little bit higher. I think he's a very smart human, and he's a very smart fucking hockey guy. He's been around this game for as long as I can remember. Like, I watched him when I was fucking growing up, and then he's still going now. What's it like being a player for Slava and an older guy? Like, you're one of the veteran guys, so you can probably lean on you a little bit.
Like, as I said, we were together already in Slough, and when I came back to Peterborough, like, it was a couple of years when I was still just a player. But then when I think EPL collapsed, then we had just 3 imports, and we kind of worked. I'm not saying that I did a job, but we had a lot of meetings talking about hockey and about what we should play, helping with the power play last few years, and that there's North's one of the best defensemen in the league.
So good.
And he works with defensemen, so we kind of, Slava is coaching just on his own, so we putting our knowledge and experience into even helping young players, sometimes running development practices for juniors, and just, I think he's tactically best coach in the league.
He's very good. Yeah, he's very fucking good.
And I think what helps that we have a team here. We have the team spirit in the changing room. Like, not much is changing every year. There's always like
couple of guys
few
come in,
changes.
couple of guys leave. That's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
But they just kind of fit in every time, every year. And basically the core of the team stayed for basically all time I'm here, then it didn't change. A few guys retired, few guys left, few guys
Young guys
came in.
come in, fill the gap.
Yeah. And then you'll see someone comes in and just don't, with that personality, don't get into not get into a team, but sometimes they think they're bigger than the team. And I think this league is about being a team. And yeah, then I'm not saying about Leeds and MK and whoever throws money everywhere. And
Leeds
just,
have fucking 400. Not Leeds, sorry. Milton Keynes have 400 first line forwards this year.
yeah, I spoke with
going on?
Slava yesterday that basically they have 15 forwards, but
They're all first liners. Like, what's going on?
they have few guys two-way with Elite League. So I think they're even counting with probably not having everyone every game. But yeah, if
How did you right? Okay, so some people, and it'd be interesting to get a current player's perspective on this because I'm just an old guy that doesn't play anymore. But
how old are you?
I'm 37, mate. I'm
Yeah,
37. 34 if my golf course ask.
Yeah.
Because I'm still on the 34. I'm still on the under 35 membership, so we'll let that one slide. But we've got these we've got like these young guys coming in, Bowering, Hunt, and guys like that coming in. How important are they to your program in Peterborough? The fact that they were like raised through that junior development and now they've come on. Bowering might have been Mark, was he in our elite league? Not elite league, sorry. Was he in our all-star team of the year last year? I believe
he was. Yeah, with Norton, yeah.
Well, Nort's is obviously in there because he's a straight
you know what?
savage.
Well deserved, because
So good, mate.
in a few years he just grew into something different. Like I remember
very
him
good,
when
man.
he started, he had the talent, he had the skill, everything, but he was still playing that junior style.
Thinks
So-
he's going end to end on every shift, yeah.
He can do that. He's
Oh,
a
no, he
player
can do that,
that
yeah.
can do that, yeah. If he's not doing it, he's trying it.
I
But he
like
can
that, though.
play, he can score, he can dangle through players. He's
Right. Here's a big
Good.
question for you. Can he go elite league? In my opinion, yes, I think he can. I think his game is very calm. He's very composed. I think out of any of the young crop of the guys that are coming through right now, and shout out to Slava, he's done a fucking fantastic job with that young core you have in Peterborough of developing them as well as them just, hey, look, they're good hockey players, but he's developed them. Like you can see from when they were fucking 17 to 21, they're different hockey. They're different humans. They're different fucking people entirely. And Slava's got a big role to play in that. And I think there's a couple of young pups there in Peterborough that could genuinely go all the way and end up putting on a GB shirt, Mark. What about you?
Yeah, Archie Salisbury is one guy that stands out for me to keep an eye on. That's why I've owned and loaned his jersey for the season coming.
Remember I said I was old? Remember I said I was old? I remember watching his fucking dad play. And Peterborough back then were in a blue and yellow uni with a Pirates logo, with like the Philadelphia P. They had the Philadelphia P across. Sorry, boys, I'm showing my age here, but I remember his old man. So shout out the old man before we start pumping this kid's tires up too much. Got to give it to the old crew. But yeah, this kid's legit. I like him. Malarkey as well.
With Slava as well. I've always said, I said last season with Slava, is the one coach that's always never been afraid to drop a guy and bring someone in that no one's heard of. He's young and he knows that they need a little bit of ice time. Then he'll see, are they ready? And then they'll disappear for like a season, go through the youth, and then all of a sudden they're in the starting lineup for the Phantoms. I think Slava's actually a bit of a master in that. And
yeah, he's done a very
that's
good
why
job.
I like him as a coach.
Done a very good job.
like we play 4 lines, which other teams, not many other teams using all the fourth line hockey. And I think they get a lot of ice time here, which makes them grow. So they get the experience. If sometimes they can play for second team, they can play for juniors. Yeah, when they come when they're 17 and basically from their 16, then like they get a chance. Like there were guys that like you didn't mention, but they turned up, played for a year, and then just didn't like that they have to compete, they have to do something in the summer. They can't go for a beer, they want to go for a party on a Friday before the game. And they just decided not to. And you said before about Brett Bowering going to Elite League.
I think he can do it.
He should try it.
He should
But
try.
then-
Like he's better than some of the fucking Brits that are in that elite league right now already, and he's still a
Yeah, but-
fucking puppy.
Thing is, with the rule that you have 15 imports, then how much ice time you actually get as a
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
that,
And then the development
I
goes.
don't think it's right.
it's very difficult, isn't it? But yeah, you'll know that though from breaking in the fucking extra league and Czech. Like, I imagine you didn't just rock straight in and go, "Hey, I'm going to be on the first line with the best import and the best Czech guy in the fucking league." You got to cut your teeth, right? And there's some dues to be paid. But what I think the elite league get wrong is there's dues to be paid, and there's taking a piss out of the guy. Is like, yeah, he played 2 minutes 40 tonight. What the fuck do you want him to do? And how do you give him 9 minutes, give him 11 minutes, give him 12 minutes some nights? That's, that's 20 shifts maybe. Like, you're on the ice a lot, you're involved. Like, there's got to be, and me and the guy are not best friends, but Doug Shepard, the way he treated Vanya Antonov and the way he treated Zach Milton the first years he had those boys in the league. I remember going to games and Zach Milton was first up on a penalty shot. He was 17 years old. Shep's like, "Milks, you're up." Okay. He's 17, didn't give a shit. He's like trying to go through the legs, he's trying to dangle. How important is that in a player's development to have a coach that believes in you?
You need that. You need that. Like when basically I was 17, I started sitting on a bench with extra league team, waiting for my chance because they used to play 3 lines. And yeah, if you're playing against those guys you were reading earlier, and you're 17, basically just still probably 2-3 years as a junior in Czech, then it's tough because you're not a man. You're a boy in men's league, so it was tough. We had to be quick, or you had to be big and strong. And yeah, I probably was small and clever player. They put me as a center, or we played left winger, helping or defending. But it was basically creating the game and play for other players. But still, yeah, I got 3 shifts a game, which is
3 shifts a game. Like, exactly how are you supposed to develop your skills? Because ultimately I've been in that position and I know how fucking nervous are you. Like, you don't want anybody to pass you the puck, because you feel like your stick weighs 25 kilos, right? Because you've just got on the ice, you're tense, and one mistake and you might not get back on for 6 games. Yeah. It's not like you might not get back on that game. You might not get back on for 6 games. Yeah, you got this import that's just rolled in from Sweden who turned a puck over on his own blue line 4 times in the first period, but scored a hat trick. You go, that guy's allowed to make mistakes, but I'm not. I'm 17. And you're so in your own head. Unless you have a guy to go, yo, you're fucking good, man. You're good. Use your talent. Use what you're good at. If you're good at skating from behind your net and making the first pass, do that. If you're good at joining the rush, join the rush and do that. If you're good at driving the net and standing in front and being a prick to play against, do that. But you need a guy like maybe Slava, just to put his arm around you and tell you that.
Agree with that.
We're going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes here, but I got a couple more questions for you. Would you ever consider going into full-time coaching post-career?
Tough to ask now. I said I wouldn't like being a player coach. Yeah, but after I finish, I can imagine that I can still have things I can give to players. I can show them, even if I'm not playing, I can probably show them better than anyone else that how they should play, how they should cover the puck, how they can find space for shot, be ready for guys like you, always head up. Yeah, that's kind of a league
Shit,
we
mate.
playing now. You have to be always ready. You always have players that running around trying to hit you, and it's not just here, but it's everywhere. So I would say yes, I would try. I think I basically, because I'm living that hockey life all my life, then it would be tough to get out, and I would like to be part of hockey for longer, even after I retire.
Mate, and like that's why we're doing this. And ultimately, I've been out of the game for like over 8 years now in terms of playing. But starting the podcast in 2019, so we're 4.5 years into doing this now. Getting to talk to you, getting to talk to the boys and all that, like it keeps you involved. It's still good, and it's hard when you've been in it for so long to just switch off. Like it doesn't exist anymore. Hey, some guys do that. I spoke to Sam Godfrey at Floyd Taylor's testimonial, and he goes, "What? The day I finish ice hockey is the last day I ever step foot in a fucking ice rink for the rest of my life." And I get that. I play with guys like that. Like they've never been in a rink since the day they finished playing. But I also get the guys that then go out to the under 10 practice and they're there until the under 18 practice and they give back and they want to do it. I love the coaching side probably more so ever than playing. Like, don't get me wrong, love playing the game. But once I start coaching, and you see little Johnny and he makes Southwest Conference and then he makes England or GB, and you go, he's got to have a fucking awesome moment. I played a part in that. That's way more rewarding than anything you ever do when you play.
It's, you know what, we started the hockey school in
Yeah,
Czech
same.
with my brother camps, and we basically were traveling around our city, different small clubs, and coaching their kids before they started school in the morning. So it was tough for time, like starting in 5:30 in the morning on the ice. But
Yeah,
then
you really got to
after
want to be there,
school,
right?
after school, different town. So yeah, we got a bit of sleep between and went again. And like I had a guy, like I used to play in that team. It was third league in Czech between, I played in Slough and Peterborough. And there was a guy that his dad came to me and he was like, "Can you explain him please that when he comes home, he doesn't need to shoot pucks all the time. He
Not all
can't,
the time.
he doesn't need to go and do hockey stuff." I was like, that's great, because he'll get somewhere. And then we had like one-on-one practices and with two more guys on the ice that were playing with him. And when he was 15, 14, small guy, clever, hockey clever. He grew up and like we had shooting practices because that was something I always worked on,
Huge,
that I
huge.
can do. And perfect was when he finished game on a weekend. I got message, "You know what, I scored a goal like how you taught me. You told me that
Yeah.
goalie will move when I hold the puck longer, and I just put it there, you know where." And
You can't get that from playing though, can you?
no,
It's so different.
you
I
know
can't
what, that
explain it.
guy
So
grew
different.
up, changed the team from they were playing like top junior level in that time when he was 16, and he went to extra league team playing for juniors, then play for extra league, and now he play for Carolina Hurricanes.
Who is it?
It's Nekas, number 88.
Shit.
Righty, he grew up, he got
Yeah,
stronger,
good.
and uh, and now he is like, when I said we were playing that scrimmage last week with boys in Czech, it's posters of him everywhere. I just showed my friend,
He's the guy, yeah, he's the guy.
the guy who I coached, and I found on my picture like how small he was with our camp jersey, and just remembered like hard work and that talent just gets you somewhere. And he got as far as he could, and now he is
in the show.
NHL player. Like he lives his dream. Basically, what he worked for after school, what he did extra, that paid off.
And that's the thing that people got to understand. You have to put the work in. And there was a tweet that's kind of gone semi-viral, and I'm going to try and put it up here actually. There's a tweet that's kind of gone semi-viral. There's a new kid that's just signed for Leeds, British kid, Gregor Mills, Scottish kid. And I have watched this kid. Duncan Mills, his dad, has posted stuff of this kid off ice training since he was 12 years old. He's now like 17, 18, yeah. And like, he's fucking strong. He's fast. He shoots the puck. And this fan thought it would be like, sorry, this is taking really long. This would have been better if it wasn't live, but we are live, so sorry, suck it up. Like, it's gone viral this week across UK hockey Twitter. And basically, there's this guy calling him out for working out, for pulling tires, for squatting, for shooting. And they say, he goes, he follows my page as well. Like, Sam, if you're listening, you're a fucking dickhead. Like, have a fucking shake of your head, mate. He's a 17-year-old kid who is working his fucking bag off. By the way, I don't know what a weights were because I couldn't be fucked to add them up. He's squatting like 150. Like, this kid's going to be a machine. He's going, what good's that going to do you when Deck Barber or James Griffin step up on you in center ice? A fucking lot of good. This kid has been working on his craft since he was 12. There's a reason he's the only 12-year-old in his team of under 14 players that at 17 has now been signed by the league champions. He's the only one. There was no others. What about the other guys that had talent? They didn't fucking work hard enough. This kid's working his sack off. And you know what? It comes to fruition. He gets picked up by America. He goes over there. He does a year or two over there. He cuts his teeth. He gets on the ice every day. He trains even more. Now he's back. Kid shooting pucks in his garden. He's fucking squatting. He's tire running. He's doing all the gross things that I don't think you guys that have never been an athlete before can fucking really, truly understand. Nobody wants to run up a fucking hill with a tire on their back. Trust me. Not one person on this planet. You know who the person that fucking succeeds? It's the person that does it. And he's the person that's doing it. So before you start writing this kid off and making your, by the way, probably the most screenshotted tweet of the summer, that shit's gonna bite you in the ass when this kid pots a hat trick next year. He's 17, 18, he'll get a fucking hat trick. He's gonna shove it right up your hoot. And do you know what it is? It's hard work and dedication. He's the reason that guys progress. He's a Liam Kirk. Like, there's a reason we only have a few Liam Kirks or Alex Graham, RIP Alex. Like, guys at that talent level, they're not just good. There's a reason they're good. They have talent and they go to work. Liam Kirk probably worked harder than anybody on this fucking island that we live in. He didn't fluke his way to an NHL contract. You don't fluke that. You have to work for it. And Paddy, obviously, you come from a country where more NHL prospects, more NHL players. Can you attest to that? Like, how important it is to have that work ethic?
Oh, my dad always said, you know what, we had hockey school, kind of. We had a school that we had one class full of hockey players. So we were a team. We went for practice 4 times a week, twice in the morning, twice afternoon. Then we had a game on weekend, 1 or 2. So we were on the ice all the time. We had PE run with a hockey coach. We had off ice during the week. We had off ice in the summer. And my dad always said, you know what? It's 20 guys doing same stuff. If you want to be better, you have to do more.
More stuff. Yeah, you have to do more. Yeah.
And you know what? He was coaching my brother. So when I got older, I used to run with them. I used to go.
You're the young guy, right? So you're chasing these older guys. They're faster, they're stronger, they're physically more fit than you are.
Hey,
so if you want to keep up, you got to go, right? You got.
He never fought with my brother because there was no point to fight. No, he was bigger. He was doing all that stuff. That's what I said. He did all the hard work on top. And basically, when he was 18, there was always like physical tests after the off ice 2 months. He was winning it when he was 18 with those all the
Pros,
guys that
pros
were
guys, yeah.
doing that off ice for many years. But he was just beast. Like he was jacked. He was lifting weights like crazy. Like when I got to that senior league, I basically jumped in, and it was, you know what, that's off ice. Everyone did the same weight. I
Yeah,
was 17, but there were guys that
60K
were,
barbell squats,
yeah,
50K bench press. Everybody's doing the same way. Yeah, I get it.
well, then you jumped like 30-40 kilos up, and you had to do that.
Yeah.
Over that off ice 2 months, you had to finish, and like if you didn't lift at least your weight, which was, well, I was 75 kilos, but you wanted to have good results, so it was 80-85 in that time.
Of course, yeah.
And we did like gym and basically old school stuff. Like we ran in 35 degrees temperatures, we
Yep.
cycling. No one was asking if there was thunderstorm. We were running in the forest.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, we were falling down because it was water, mud everywhere. Just, yeah, we didn't drive, so we had to cycle in the rain back home, and it was just tough. It was tough, and like
It makes you a tougher human, right? Like a better person. It makes you everything.
it makes you.
Makes you who you are, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Like after all this time, we roll it back to when you're 16, 17, bro. So I was lucky enough in my 16, 17 year that I played for IMG Academy in Florida on the ice every day, Paddy, like you're saying, in the gym every day, 6 strength coaches for 20 guys. Like you couldn't do a fucking rep wrong. You weren't allowed to do a rep wrong. If you did a rep wrong, you didn't fucking 10 more. Hey, guess what? Boys, we're sprinting for an hour, and then you get to the end of the hour and they go, nah, we're sprinting for 2.
Yeah.
So you're like, you're done. And they were smart. Now looking back as a PT, they were smart. They got you emotionally involved in like it's an hour. And then you know that they know you're physically fucked. You've been sprinting for an hour, you're tired, and they go, boys, it's 2. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't just go, nah, I'm not sprinting for 2 hours. It's like, oh shit. And you have to go in within yourself, because when you think you're finishing sprints, you're doing hours sprints in 35-degree heat in Florida, and you think you're done, and then they go, boys, you got another hour.
One more.
That's gonna check you. That's gonna gut check you. And some guys fucking quit, and some guys proceed. And guess who? The guys that quit, they either don't play anymore, they play on the fucking 4th line. The guys that fucking grind, guess what? They're playing 1st line and they're still playing.
Yeah.
And it's that willingness. And I wish UK hockey fans, UK hockey parents would understand. Why is little Johnny's son getting picked for England and my boy's not? He scored a hat-trick last weekend, and that guy only scored 1 goal. That guy has run fucking 100-meter sprints every day. He's been doing squats, he's been jumping, he's been shooting, he's been taking time off, he's resting, recovering, growing, repairing. There's so many things that go into creating a perfect specimen of a hockey player. And Czech have been doing it year after year after year after year after year. They're one of the best countries on the entire planet when it comes to ice hockey. Do you feel fortunate to come from such a hockey hotbed? Because it's got a double-edged sword. It makes it harder to fucking break into Yaga and Helinka and Straka. It makes it harder to break into that team, but it also makes you good, because if you want to compete, that level is so high that you have like the real dream and the real cheat. Like you have to push.
You have to, yeah. It's something that when I look back, like what I used to play against, who I used to play, who I used to skate with, even on a practice or scrimmage, like get on the ice with those guys, I was really fortunate, like to live it, like to get into my head, and like you said, like that, our drills and everything was 10 times harder than I can see here. So it's just something that they try to break your will, and basically those bad seeds put on a side straight away in an off-ice season. Like,
Yeah.
because if you have those guys and they are crying when they have to run, and you don't want them on the team.
Well, you don't want to. We'll put it this way, right? Paddy, 4-3 up. You have a face-off in the offensive zone. You have 25 seconds left. You telling me the guy that fucking quit the run or won't do the bench press or won't do the pull-up, he's not on the ice in that last 25 seconds. He might play regular minutes, but guess what? When it comes down to the fucking nitty-gritty and the guys you really want out there, that guy is not even considered. And you coaches and you parents are sitting at home going, well, yeah, like little Johnny scored a hat trick. Yeah, but he hasn't backchecked. He hasn't been over his red line once in fucking 4 games. Guess
He
what?
didn't push hard. Like,
He didn't push hard. He's just relying on
game.
talent. Coaches notice that stuff.
Yeah, people can see that.
Game
Like,
recognizes game, right? Game recognizes game. And if you don't have it, doesn't matter how good you are, how talented you are, you'll never go anywhere in life. Let alone sport. You never go anywhere in life if everything's just be handed to you and you're just in this like, I've got such good talent. Yeah, guess what? You have good talent. And it's like the old school thing is there's always someone bigger and tougher around the corner.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same with sport. There's somebody that's doing what Gregor Mills is doing right now. I'm fucking squatting 150 in his garden and pulling tires and shooting pucks and jumping up 48 inches on a box jump. And there's someone that's not. Guess who I want on my team next year for the NIHL? I want the kid that's fucking hammering himself this summer. Because even if he's not as talented as someone you could pick up right now, he's 17 years old. He
wants to work hard.
He wants to work hard, and it's something that we can't discount. Right, Paddy, we kept you for ages. I'm going to wrap it up in like 1 short minute here. I just want to give you an opportunity to tell everybody once again, maybe that's just joining late on the live or who maybe missed earlier on the podcast. Tell us more about your business, and we can't thank you enough. You've donated pucks, 20, 25 pucks or whatever it may be for the 4,000 count charity game, which is next Saturday. We can't wait. We're going to use them for warm up, and then I think we're probably going to auction them off or sell them and make more money for the charities. But tell us more about your business and tell people where they can find you or where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, etc.
Okay, thank you. So our company started a few years ago, and we basically specialized on just working with phantoms. Now we grew up and are one of few that are doing printing on pucks that you can use on the ice. And I have to say, those pucks are not forever because ice is not great. And when you use that puck outside, inside, like the color will go down. It's a puck.
It's a puck. It's a puck.
It's a puck. But we specialized on a merchandise, basically printing, vinyl printing, any way of printing. You can find us on Facebook as AI Products, and on Instagram it's alice93.ai products.
Yeah,
I guess
the most confusing
product,
fucking Instagram handle ever when I was trying to tag you earlier.
And we trying to do good stuff for people. So it's not the first time that when I saw your post that I was basically in a minute messaging to you that
appreciate it so much,
like to help. And we did stuff before. I was not maybe even a month ago, I missed hockey, so I went to a rink, watch sledge hockey team, Phantoms.
Oh, amazing.
I had almost tears in my eyes what can't be done on the ice when you're disabled or you have any problems. But there were guys that were flying on the ice with no legs.
Yeah.
And we spoke to their coach and donated 20 pucks to players. I said, there you go, because it's something amazing. And probably a lot of people don't even know that sledge hockey exists.
So back in the Basingstoke days, they had Battleback Bison, yeah, and they invited us out for a session. Bro, it's so fucking hard. Like, it's mental how hard it is. But you go,
Yeah.
and your forearms are fucked. Like, you're like, I'm not even out of the zone yet. And I can't even go to the blue line. And your forearms, you feel like Popeye, yeah. Your brachialis, everything's just gonna pop off. And these guys do it for a game. Like, they're incredible specimens, so good, talented.
They go with one arm and they controlling the puck with second stick. Yeah, it was amazing. Like,
I don't know.
Honestly,
I can't figure it out in my head.
Do
you know when you like, I've been out there and I tried, they're like, pass. I'm like, dude, like, one thing at a time. Like, one thing at a time. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. Their talent level is off the chart.
Like the few players that they were probably skating faster than me. Honestly, like, I can't say like how amazed I was when I saw them play. And you know, I don't know what level to compare, because I never saw any other team in Czech, or like, I know there's loads of
Britain are good at sledge hockey, by the way. Britain are good.
They have it on like basically Olympic sport and everything. And I saw pictures, but I never saw videos. They have same rules as hockey players.
That's wild.
You know, big question when I was coming to the ring, I was like, how are they getting on the ice? They can't walk like we walk in there.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Exactly. How they
Great question.
How they changing?
Yeah.
So you know what, they have line up guys on the ice where the bench is. They're not interfering game, but comes for the change, next one comes in. And it was just something new, and it was ice hockey. It was my first time when I was 43 years old. And I honestly
fell in love again, eh?
Those guys are making such an amazing sport. I can't, I never tried, and I'm scared of like being bad in it, like going on the ice with them, and
so hard,
after 10 minutes, like you know, if you go on a boat and you rowing like for 10 minutes, you're done. And this is the same. You're putting yourself, no one's helping you. Peterborough ice is not helping
you. And maybe the downhill at centre, right? Might help you on the sled a little bit, but going back on the back check, you've got to go uphill, is a bit tougher. But Paddy, honestly, this has been an amazing interview. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate what you've done for the charities. Guys and girls, I'm going to talk directly at you for a minute. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really does help us. Comment, like, do all the usual stuff. But we still have, I believe, 20 jerseys out of the 48 available for sponsorship, for own and loan. There is single individual game sponsorships. We have the man of the match sponsorship and some individual team sponsorships. Shout out Johnny Strange. He's sponsored the Scotty Mac Muffins. That means Dirty Divas, Morsey's Mutants, and What Dogs Hot Dogs still available for sponsorship. Guys, all this money is going to Royal Marsden and the Dodie Weir Foundation, so we can't stress that enough. This is a huge event, and it's next week. If you haven't already got your tickets, please do get your tickets. Go to ticketlab.co.uk/4,000 and counting. Make sure you add Paddy. Go check out AI Products on Instagram, on Twitter, across Facebook, etc. Paddy, thank you very much. I can't thank you enough for your time, mate.
Was lovely to be part of this, and enjoy the game, and don't forget about me next year.
Sorry, mate. Oh, don't make me feel bad. I already feel bad enough. Hey,
don't worry, I'll be here.
Yeah, well, we'll be having you at the next one. And I told you off air what I plan to do with the next charity event in 2024. And it's the most excited I've been about doing a charity event. Next year's gonna be huge, guys. We're gonna be dropping news exactly what our plans are and how we proceed to go forward. But it's gonna be very different next year, and it's gonna benefit the UK hockey scene, the youth, so much more than any charity event we've ever done before. But please do subscribe, guys. I've been Watty. Apologies, Mark had to shoot off because he's an hour ahead in Vienna there. This has been Paddy. For now, peace.
was lovely. Thank you to having me.